Hello and welcome to Glasgow Rangers Nation with me, your host, Owen, guys. It is, what day is it today? It's Tuesday today, isn't it? Tuesday. Welcome to a very cold, wet, windy Midlands of England, guys. I was representing Rangers here in the Midlands of England. Well, thank you so much for all your support recently. The channel's grown fantastically well. I think we're on 436 subs now, Victoria, and I thank you for all your support. We love you reading your comments in below the videos and on the posts as well. So thank you so much for those comments. Keep those comments coming. Anyway, let's talk about Alfredo Morelos again. As always, he seems to be taking up a lot of column inches at the moment. I suppose what with it being the international break and the fact that there's not a lot going on in terms of actual club football. Obviously, the focus is on the international football, and obviously, I've made my opinions quite clear on international football and what a waste of time it actually is. But this time, Rangers legend Barry Ferguson has been having his say on Alfredo Morelos. Alfredo Morelos, who has, let's say, throughout his time in Glasgow, hasn't he? He's always courted controversy. He's always perhaps been the subject of many column inches in Glasgow newspapers. And we all know that he likes an now in Glasgow. His fitness and his conditioning have always been questioned. And he's certainly one that winds up the other half of the city. So Barry Ferguson was talking about Alfredo Morelos after he was pictured wearing an Everton shirt. After taking part in a football game. Now, quite why Alfredo was wearing an Everton shirt is still very unclear. Obviously, the fact that he plays for Glasgow Rangers, the fact that surely he would have chosen to wear a Rangers shirt. Was he going to play in a football game? Quite why he decided to wear an Everton top is unclear at this moment in time. There is no other further information on this story. Barry Ferguson was not best impressed with this. Obviously, a Rangers man like Barry Ferguson, who is obviously Rangers to the core, and I don't think would ever choose to wear an Everton shirt. Obviously, made a comment of this and was not impressed. This is what Barry had to say about Alfredo. He said, this was on Go Radio. He said, "You've got to have a Rangers strip on. Why have an Everton strip? I think Morelos will be playing elsewhere in the summer. I don't think he'll be staying at Rangers." And this is what I think is what this story is wide about, rather than the rubbish about him wearing an Everton top. Who quite frankly cares whether he wears an Everton top or a Liverpool top or a Manchester United top or a Manchester City top, as long as he doesn't wear a green and white hooped top. Or for me, a black and white striped one as well, then that is fair enough. But I think it is kind of part of a wider discussion, isn't it, about what will happen to Alfredo Morelos over the summer and whether he will stay at Glasgow Rangers. Now, certainly Michael Beale has had, well, let's say a mixed opinion on him, hasn't he, really? I mean, you think back to that opinion, the opinion that he gave after the Viaplay quarterfinal against Wraith Rovers, where he commented that, that Alfie, you need to see more from Alfie. He talked about his conditioning, he talked about his fitness. And then it seemed a few days later, he completely changed his tune. Like, I don't know, like someone had been in his ear and had a word with him, or I don't know, that he'd already spoken to Alfie. Now, Alfie obviously has been linked with moves all over the continent. Obviously, the Sevilla link came first, which is apparently got no truth in it. The current link obviously is to Galatasaray. That is a very strong link at this moment in time. Reported English clubs looking at him as well, but certainly that is obviously the feeling that he will not be in Scotland any longer than just this season. This is what Michael Beale had to say earlier this month when he spoke about Alfie. Just a reminder. He said, "Since I've come in, Alfredo has trained and played very well. There are certainly no issues between me and him. We're on the same page. We'll just keep working until the summer. I think everything at the moment is open for discussion." So quite clearly, Michael Beale thinks obviously there is still room for discussion over new contracts, over new deals. That I think is what he may be saying there when he talks about that. But it certainly seems strange to me that that Alfredo should want to play an Everton top, and also the fact that at this moment in time, there is still no clear information about the future for Alfredo Morelos, and it very much does split the Rangers fan base down the middle. I ran a poll the other day on my Instagram, and I think it was 56% to 44% in favour of him staying. I know my co-host Victoria Searle would like him to stay in Glasgow, and he has contributed so much to Rangers during his time with the club, and you can't help but feel that, if Alfredo could get himself fit and back in top condition like he was previously, like he was during the 55 season, that he could be a real asset for the club again. If Alfie was to stay, then I think it would obviously minimise the number of strikers we've got to sign in the summer. If you pair him with perhaps another striker, or perhaps even two more strikers, and Cholak and Morelos, that gives you a fairly fearsome attacking strength. It also gives you options up there to perhaps play with two up front, considering obviously that Michael Beale has spoken about playing three at the back. But it certainly seems that Barry Ferguson is of the opinion that Alfredo will not be in Glasgow much past this summer and will be with a new club next season. Anyway, Rangers fans, let me know in the comments below what you think. Is Barry Ferguson right? Is Alfredo going to be somewhere else next summer, or is he going to surprise us all and stay at the club? Thanks so much for watching Glasgow Rangers Nation. Please remember to hit that sub, ring that notification bell, give this video a like. Guys, just a couple of heads up to a few things coming up. On Thursday night, Victoria and I will be going live with Kashmir Lewis, who is a Dundee United fan, to do a crossover pod to preview the Dundee United Rangers game. We'll be talking about that. And then on Friday, we have another special guest, Gary from NASA, the North American Rangers Supporters Association. We'll be having a live discussion with him on Glasgow Rangers Nation podcast. Gary will be answering questions about NASA, about the NASA convention, and also giving his views on Rangers and the season Rangers have had so far. And I know the Rabble tweeted out, obviously, NASA. I know a lot of you are aware of NASA, so please come and tune in if you want to get the view of NASA President Gary on Rangers and on the NASA convention, which is upcoming in June, which I know Victoria will be attending. Thank you so much for watching, guys. I'm back to speak to you again really soon here on Glasgow Rangers Nation.